In Quito, Ecuador. I'm Carla Gonzalez, and this is From the South.
Coalition Andrés Manuel López Obrador gathered huge crowds in public squares, even in the states governed by his political opponents.
I tell you now that I won't disappoint you. I will fulfill our promises. Together, we'll make history.
National media published the places him ahead with 51%, but his supporters remain solid in their conviction.
There is no chance for electoral fraud because the numbers in support of
Are looking for is to reach second place, and not only for the presidency but also for Congress. This will mean becoming the second most powerful political force in the national.
Obrador could become Mexico's first left-leaning leader in decades, breaking the stranglehold of the ruling Institutional Revolutionary Party and its conservative rivals.
The cost of this violence has been tragic. From the start of
Peña Nieto called on all voters to cast their ballots on Sunday, describing this election as historic. He praised the public debates during the campaign, and Vladimir Putin will meet officially for the first time on July 12 in Helsinki, Finland. This follows Russian President Vladimir Putin's meeting. The U.S. Vice President Mike Pence is in Ecuador to discuss ways to strengthen bilateral relations. He is also expected to continue to seek regional support with a trade agreement between the two nations.
Trade is a priority issue for Ecuador, and the U.S. is a main partner in trade matters. We're interested in boosting Ecuador's exports to the American market, the biggest market in the Western Hemisphere.
Pence had previously visited Venezuelan migrants in Brazil, an occasion the U.S. Vice President once again used to criticize the government of Nicolás Maduro. The government of Venezuela fired back against Pence's attacks by singling out the U.S. government's highly
carry on his great legacy. That's why he did it. And remember this, so we have a pick to come up. We have to pick a great one. We have to pick one that's going to be there for 40 years, 45 years. We need intellect.
Legislation was passed with amendments requested by the Democratic Center, the party of President-elect Iván Duque. Amendments that some see as a threat to the peace process. The most controversial is a special legal process for the Colombian police and military. The former candidate, Gustavo Petro,
We have to celebrate that a year has passed since the disarmament of the FARC, and it is great that the final approval of the Special Jurisdiction for Peace comes on the same date. This will allow transitional justice to finally start. The peace agreement will be fully implemented and there will be no impunity.
Meanwhile, another social leader was killed in the country. Encouraged by the local authorities to stay in the homes of friends and family as the space is limited. The government of Argentina
doesn't surprise us at all. For a while now, We have been denouncing all the cuts we've seen. This is brutal, but in some way, we were respecting it, because they only care about numbers.
Will only grow bigger. The government of Mauricio Macri has threatened workers with even more cuts, yet workers say they will keep fighting against these measures.
Paul Rivas and their driver, Efraín Segarra, arrived in Quito on an Ecuadorian Air Force plane. The bodies were found in a rural area in Denise Herrera, Telesur Quito, Ecuador.
The justice system in Chile is about to investigate the alleged irregular adoptions of thousands of children who were sent abroad during investigating the complaints despite knowing about them. Valenzuela is accused of covering up the sexual abuse committed by priest Fernando Caradima during the 1980s.
We checked the bilateral revision in different areas for cooperation. We also reviewed the regional and global situations. We're very grateful to Caribbean leaders, to Santa Lucia.
CCJ ordered they be taken to the Supreme Court in Barbados for resentencing. The Sierra Negra volcano on the famous Galapagos Island in Isabela Island in Ecuador has been spewing lava and ashes since Tuesday. Authorities have evacuated 50 people from the island. The eruption started after 2 strong earthquakes hit the area. The damage to biodiversity has been minimal, so the media team. The world.
A deadly fire at an open market in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, has killed at least 15 people and injured.
Overcome rape stigma. Dr. Dennis Mukwege shared the experience lived by Congolese women to give guidance to the Yazidi community. The Yazidis settled in northern Iraq following an Asian religion with more than 500,000 followers. And with that, we come to the end of this news brief. But there's another stories, as you know, you can find on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Telesur English, I'm Carla González. Thank you for watching.
Que el ser humano despierte su conciencia.
I want humanity to